to this segment. Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Amy Miller, Director of Programming and Education at the Gouge Performing Arts Center, and we're here again with our Talkback Thursday. Today we are featuring the incredible artist Stanley Glover. Hey Stanley, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Stanley is in Philadelphia currently, and he is part of the Ballet X dance company, contemporary ballet company in Philly. That is part of our upcoming season, our 2021 season. Ballet X is on our dance and movement series, and y'all are going to be in Auburn on Tuesday, January 26th, 2021.
So excited.
It's going to be wonderful. We're thrilled to have you. So you'll be performing with the company, The Little Prince, which is one of your pieces of the company. And we're going to have a public performance as well as a school performance to share with our community. And I know some educational elements as well. So we're excited to have you.
So excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm going to read for our audience that's joining us. I know they'll be joining us throughout the next 30 minutes. But I want to give everyone joining us today a little bit of a background about Stanley and his illustrious career he's already accomplished. He joined Ballet X in 2018, so you're in your third season with the company.
Yeah,
wonderful.
It's flying.
Time flies, I know, right? Especially during these epic times we're in, right? Time is it feels different. So following performances as a top 20 contestant on So You Think You Can Dance, right? And as a principal dancer in Cirque du Soleil's Mystère, then you joined Ballet X.
Yes.
He has performed and trained under Sonia Taille, Random Dance, Hubbard Dance, Pennsylvania Ballet, and several others. He's also the recipient of the Princess Grace Award 2019. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Really.
That's a big deal. Yeah, so we'll talk about that in just a little bit. He's also graduated with a BFA from the University of the Arts in Philadelphia. Yeah, so a little bit about Ballet X before we dig into conversation, so our audience also knows a bit about your company. Ballet X is Philadelphia's premier contemporary ballet company whose dancers were named, quote, among America's best by the New York Times. Wow, wonderful. And I agree, you all are incredibly talented. Yeah. Yeah, the company commissions choreographers from around the world to create dance pieces that are stunning, they're highly creative, highly interactive pieces. And it was founded in 2005 by Christine Cox and Matthew Neenan, and is led today by Christine Cox, whose tenure as artistic director and executive director has produced 84 world premiere ballets by 42 choreographers. That's also quite the high task. A record few companies, I think, can share with Ballet X. And under Christine Cox's leadership, Ballet X has hailed as, quote, from Dance Magazine, an epicenter of creation and a place of choreographic innovation, putting Philadelphia on the map as an international destination for contemporary ballet. So wonderful. So let's dig in. I want to hear from you and your career, such an exciting career that you've had.
Yes,
right?
Let's do it.
Yeah, wonderful. So why dance?
Why dance? I feel like I was born a dancer. I'm the only dancer in my family. And I never took a ballet class until I turned the age of 15, surprisingly. But it was just something that I always did. I used to always sign up for talent shows at school. I was just always known as a dancer just without even knowing what dance truly was or how far and how a world range that it could be. I love to do it because I saw music videos, dance videos, movies. And I was like, I want to do that. So I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I was like, that's what I want to do. And I just happened to stumble across a studio around my neighborhood growing up in Chicago, because that's where I'm from. And I just decided, I was like, hey, I want to join. So I only joined hip hop at first because I wanted to be on Step Up at the time. I wanted to go to America's Best Dance Crew at the time. So I only did hip hop until the ballet mistress at the time came into the studio and was like, I think you should start coming to ballet. And I was like, I don't really know. I just really want to, be in a crew. But I just ended up deciding to do it the following weeks, and I never looked back ever since then.
Wonderful. So great. And can you tell us a little bit about your highlights? I know you were a top contestant on So You Think You Can Dance. Can you tell us about that experience?
So that experience was truly like a blessing, and it was amazing because it was something that when I didn't know what dance was, it's something that I looked up to, and like I was like, I want to do that. That's why I want to do it. That's exactly why I signed up for dance classes in the first place. So being able to even audition for it, like I was at school at University of Arts at the time, and it happened to be at the theater that my school performs at, and I was like, there's no reason why I should not audition for it when it's literally right across the street from my dorm room. So literally the night before, me and a couple friends went into the studio and decided to make up our solos and just audition the next day. And turns out that months later, I ended up making the show. And it was just how things like happen, like in full circle. Like I would never thought that me at 14 looking at that show that I would end up being a top contestant like on it. So
wow. So you were a fan of the show, right? And then you happened upon it. Oh, that's incredible. So how long was that process? The interviewing and the auditioning and all of that.
God. It feels so. This was in 2014. It still feels like it was yesterday, but time is flying, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
The process, it happened like a couple months. So we did the Philadelphia audition, for 3 days, and then maybe about 2 months later, they flew us out to LA to do that week-long intensive that they always show on television, the stressful one. So that happened for a week, and then a month later is when they told us who like made the show, and then that entire summer we filmed until the winner was announced. So it was from like January to the end of summer of 2014.
Okay. Oh, how exciting. Yeah. And did you travel? Was it in Vegas that you traveled to?
For Mystere, for Cirque du Soleil.
No, sorry. So you think you can dance?
No, they travel. They usually do it in Vegas, but they this time had us go to LA for the audition round. So that was the year that they changed from Vegas to LA.
Okay. Oh, exciting. Yeah, wonderful. And so then how did you transition over to Cirque du Soleil?
So I was in my senior year of college, and a friend of mine who was in Cusa at the time, another Cirque du Soleil show, he was saying that he thinks I would be great for the role of Cusa because they were looking for another guy because he was leaving. So I was like, okay, I'll submit a video. Like, why not? So I submitted a video, and one of the casting directors had emailed me back and said, we think you will be perfect for this other role that we're trying to fill. I was like, oh, sure. Like, what's the role? So they flew me out to Vegas, and I did an audition process, and they hired me from there. And from there, I joined Cirque du Soleil's Mystere at Treasure Island in Las Vegas. And we did 465 shows that year. Yeah. It was a hard one, but it was so much fun. Because I always wanted to do Cirque du Soleil too, because like how extravagant, and like I learned so many new things. Like there was only 5 Americans on my show. So we got to like learn so much about so many different cultures and so many different talents, like trapeze, balancing acts, and just meeting so many different people and doing what I love to do and learning how to do my makeup, because that's what they don't tell you.
Yes. So I took a tour of the Cirque du Soleil headquarters in Montreal last summer, and we went through the area where when they bring on a new company member, right, you actually have to learn all about your role and how to do your own makeup. Right? Yes. So you have to do classes for that. Right?
Yeah. Our stations, and the makeup artist was teaching us every day. At first, it took me 6 hours to learn how to do my makeup. Like if my call time was at 6 o'clock, I would literally have to come to the theater at like 1 o'clock just so I can start on my makeup to see how I could get accustomed to it. But after I got like used to it, it only took me like 30 minutes to like 40 minutes once I got like used to where everything needed to be and how for it to look. So like, yeah, you're just learning so many different things there that I really appreciated.
That's incredible. And how many shows did you have a day then? So if you had a 1 a.m. call and you had a show the night before?
A 1 p.m. call. So like
1 p.m. for an evening show.
Yeah, so we had 2 shows a day.
Yes. Okay. Oh, brilliant. So cool. And so you have a classical and a hip hop training, a background.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said there were 68 performers within that Mystere, right? Yeah. Was it like being a dancer, coming from a dance perspective, to a really large production and working cross collaboratively with acrobats and with maybe musicians and others?
It was amazing because at the end of the day, I feel like we're all artists. So like everyone appreciated everyone for what they brought to the table, and because we all collectively created the show and how we um, took the material to distribute to the audience. Yeah. So let's us working together and like finding each other's like niches and what we can like go off of was like amazing, and everyone was so collaborative and so like amazing to work with. So yeah, my experience there.
It's a whole new way of communicating.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right. Wonderful. Also, can you share a little bit about receiving the Princess Grace Award? That's a big deal in our field. And
that was truly an honor, something that I couldn't even dream of. And I think Ballet X for even sending me out there to even try for it. It's just something that dancers, for emerging artists to just really uphold to, because just seeing how many, the people that came before us and like who won the award, it's like, you're in this family now and like this foundation that just appreciates artists for being artists and just helping them grow in their field and their passion. So I'm truly, truly thankful for the foundation for that and seeing something in me. And of course, Ballet X and Christine for pushing me out there. So it's definitely a blessing for sure.
Wonderful. I'm glad your talent was recognized.
Thank you.
So we're to show off your talent. If you've just joined us, welcome. Thank you for viewing today. We're in our Talkback Thursday with GPAC, the Gouge Performing Arts Center, and we are hosting today Stanley Glover of Ballet X. So we're going to flip right now to a short video of you dancing. I want our audience to be able to see the brilliance of the movement. He plays the role of the snake, which we are going to talk about in just a little bit. So this is a clip from you rehearsing the little prince as the snake. Wonderful. Beautiful. Yeah, excited to see a bit more of that down the road in January.
Yeah.
So let's transition. Can you tell us about how you came to Ballet X?
Yeah, so I met Christine Cox when I was at school in college at University of Arts. She was my ballet teacher my last year. And during that time, I was transitioning and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And at the time, Christine was like, I think you should really come to Ballet X. And I was like, I would love to, but in my mind at that phase of my life, I wanted something different. And that's why I went to Cirque du Soleil right after, just because I was so in the mindset of just like, just finding out who I am and like where I wanted to be. So I decided to do Cirque du Soleil. And after I finished my run with Cirque, I was about to audition for companies and see where I wanted to like go in, because I missed the process of creating and just being in the studio of just dancers and just allowing my artistic freedom to like grow in a different way. So I came to take a company class with one of my best friends who's with the company now, Roger Pfeiffer. And I went to take a company class, and Christine asked me what I was up to, and I was telling her that I wanted to audition for different companies to, get into the concert world again. And she was like, well, just come here. I think this is where you belong. And it's something that I've always wanted to do, because obviously I went to school there and I was surrounded by Ballet X. So I think it was just a blessing, and just how funny how the world revolves in like a circle. Yeah. So it's like to be in a space where it feels like home and to where I feel comfortable and like we know each other, and she get to help me grow in a different way.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's truly a gift if you're very comfortable with the artist that you're creating with, right? And the artistic director. Can you tell us a bit about your process as a company for creating work?
So our process, because we have so many different choreographers coming in, which is a blessing because it keeps us on our toes and keeps our sometimes dancing is a lot physical, like our body gets physically tired, but it comes into play when our mind gets tired as well. And I think that's where our artistic growth, relies on. So just having all those different choreographers come in and creating different process. We don't know what they're doing, how they're gonna do it, where is it gonna go. So just having that mental like preparation of knowing you have to pull up and be that that thing for the choreographers to create on it's a blessing. It's hard, but it's beautiful. It's challenging, but it's rewarding at the same time. So yeah, just something that I know that I would take with me like even further, and just knowing that I'm capable of producing what all these choreographers choose to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Artists really have to be on their toes in all genres, right? In order to stay relevant, in order to keep their creativity stirring. Dancers, I think, have an even extra element of that when new choreographers are coming your way, and you're through your own body, right, and your own expression, you individualize someone else's vision, right?
For sure, yeah.
How else would you describe that relationship between dancer and choreographer?
It's a process. I think just as much as the dance that we're creating is a process, I think the relationship with the choreographer is a process as well, because sometimes they don't know us and sometimes they do. So it's up to us to make sure they feel comfortable in the space that that allows them to create everything that they dream of possibly creating on us. And I think that's what BalletX truly, truly does, especially with all of our company members who are so individual. Like not one of us dance the same, move the same, speaks the same. So that's one thing I for sure can agree with BalletX being that hub of just individuality and just expressing yourself for who you are. And choreographers really lean onto that because no one wants to see the same over and over. So like it's good to just have that own creative input of your own individuality in what we're doing.
Amazing. Wonderful. We have some questions here that have come in. If you want to take a look. Joyce Milare, she said, "Hey Stanley, I cannot wait to see Ballet X. Yeah, we're excited to see you in January." She's wondering who your most influential dance teacher or choreographer has been, since we're talking about choreographers.
Yes. My most influential I'm going to say dance teacher only because my high school teacher, Melinda Wilson, really instilled in me so much passion. Again, I started dancing late. So I was 15 when I took my first ballet class. So I went to a public high school and Melinda Wilson was my dance teacher there. And for it to be a public school, she really instilled in us like things that you would have thought I went to an art school. And I'm so grateful that because it's so hard to do that because people only taking dance class to get out of gym or get out of swim. And so for her to even put that much passion and effort into kids who don't know so much about dance and to see how far it has taken me is just truly a blessing. It's something that I really want to do when I, either if I not move on from dance, but in the future, just allow that output of just giving back to children who might not have the range or the opportunities to know so much about what's out there. And I'm really, really thankful for her.
Wonderful. Because when you say you started late as 15, that's pretty early for a lot of people too, but many dancers start at a young age, right, with their training. It sounds like you were dancing maybe in your living room or your bedroom, right? When you were doing your thing. Yeah. But your training started when you were 15, is what you're saying. Yeah, wonderful. We have another question from Mindy Street. She's wondering about your time on So You Think You Can Dance. Your favorite choreographer, favorite judge?
Favorite choreographer. It was so many. I think that experience is amazing in general. I feel like I was just a jittery like child at the time. So everything I'm like, I'm so amazed at everything. My favorite judge, I think it would have to be Mary. Mary was so vibrant, so like lively. That anytime you meet her on camera, off camera, she was just someone that you could just vibe with, like hands down. But they're all so amazing. Like I worked with so many different choreographers there too. yeah, that entire time was just a blast. It was my first time doing like a television process as well. So just learning that on top of everything else was just
Yeah.
bonding.
Perform live, right? Live and on TV. Yeah, that's a whole different skill.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely have learned how to pivot and how to kind of adapt to various different performance spaces and live with the Soleil. It's incredible. That's quite rare. Lauren Miller said, "Oh my God, Stanley, you were the most brilliant snake in the history of snakes. So happy I got to see you in Philly and NYC. Bravo. So great. So great. Can you tell us a bit more about your role as the snake in The Little Prince?"
So The Little Prince was choreographed by Annabelle Lopez Ochoa, and she came in and set this work on us. At first, she assigned me to be the snake only because I think I was typecasted, but so long and, you know, lanky. But after that was only like the first 2 days we were workshopping like material and like what she wanted to do with it. We had a community day for Ballet X where we have invited the community out, a park event. We do like host classes, like food, you know, just having a community day. And I taught a Vogue class because I also Vogue as well. And Annabelle came and took the Vogue class and she was like, "I didn't know you can move like this." And I was like, I mean, yeah. I was like, I Vogue like on the side, like in the ballroom scene. So the next day she came in and it kind of like shifted her whole perspective on like what she thought the snake would be and how the snake's movement would be. So just like that collaborative effort with Annabelle on like how we wanted the snake to move, and like he's not always sinister. He may be a little like sly. He may be a little happy. He may be, you know, just different aspects just to layer on top of. So it's definitely like a fun process to keep unlayering with that character. And in the book, the snake was only in the beginning and end, but throughout the process, Annabelle decided to take it into her own perspective and think about her own life. And she was saying how she's close to 40. So like sometimes like people her age are afraid of death or start thinking about death in a sense, or like her parents, that they're getting older as well. So she wanted that feeling to enable the process as well. So that's why she kind of brought the snake along more so instead of just the beginning and ending. So he was kind of also the main character besides the prince as well, to give that extra layer of what she tried to portray.
Oh, that's wise to include that in the story. And the story is a classic. Many of us know The Little Prince. A lot of us think of it as a tale for learning, for children, for teaching. But it's also wonderful whatever age you're in, right? You're at, whatever stage of life you're experiencing. So we encourage everyone, whether you are a family with children or you're an adult on your own, come on out in January. What can folks expect? Yeah, from no matter what age they are.
No matter, I think you could just expect having a good story, good dance, just watching a story unveil itself in the process of how we invoke these characters and just us acting on stage and just being invested in each and everything that we do.
Wonderful. We're so excited to have you. Yeah. So then also to switch gears, you know, you're a dancer and we've been quarantined this whole time. We were talking before the show about how it's going for you in Philadelphia in a city. Can you tell us how you've been keeping yourself well as a dancer during the last months?
Yeah, I think all of us could agree, whether you're a dancer or not, that it's been difficult times. I mean, I'm dancing in my here, which is a blessing to be able to even be able to have a job to dance, which I'm so grateful for Ballet X and Christine Cox for pushing so hard for us to have that, where every day we're working constantly. But it's also getting our mental like prepared, just knowing that we're gonna get through this, and we just have to dig ourselves out of those valleys that we sometimes get in. And it's okay if we have those days because we're human, but just knowing that there is an end of the tunnel, and if we just keep pushing, and it's gonna get better.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for keeping at it with the company and all of us. We're excited. We know we're all on pause, but we're so excited to return to our stages and to be able to see all of your brilliance on stage. And also along with that, right? We're in epically important times in terms of racial injustice and the uprising around this globe that's happening, stemming from this country. And you're a dancer and a Black dancer in an oftentimes considered, Eurocentric white genre of ballet. Can you talk a bit what that means for you and how you represent your community within the genre?
Yeah, just because being a Black dancer, Black ballet dancer, it is rare to see us, and nowadays I think it's important for us to be shown and be highlighted just as well as anyone else. And I think that the dance industry has come to terms with that, and like we're still moving forward with that progress, and we still have so much work to do. Just grateful, again, thankful for Ballet X and Christine for being that comfort zone for us to dive deep into these conversations, because we had so many conversations with Ballet X about everything that's going on, and just to see the openness and the awareness that my coworkers and Christine have been adjusted to was beautiful to see, and it's a blessing, and it's a fight every day, and there's no end of the tunnel. But as long as we keep having these conversations and keep pushing forward, I think that we're going to get into a really good situation.
Yeah, you nailed it. It's a long process. We all have a lot of work to do, and conversations on all levels are so important during these times. And you're a dancer, right? So you identify with the use of your body and expression through your body. And a lot of humans are doing that right now, bringing their bodies onto the street and into certain spaces that can be comfortable and uncomfortable, right?
Bodies as a sign of protest is saying that I saw in the Ta-Nehisi Coates book, bodies as a sign of protest. Even just being in a space of being a ballet dancer is my fight of resilience, my fight of passion. So it's just something that we keep striving to do.
Mm-hmm. The arts can be protests, right? Walking on, dancing onto that stage every evening is a form of protest, right? But a form of celebration and of life. And we're so excited to have you. So
I'm excited to be there.
Yeah, hope, fingers crossed, everything works out. Let me see if there are any other questions from our attendees. Just everyone. Oh, Lauren Miller said, Stanley, were you ever on Mary's hot tamale train?
I was on her hot tamale train the first episode, because she always talked about how my legs and jumps were so magnificent. So kind of like every time I did anything of the sort, she always used to scream and say, I'm on a hot tamale train. So yeah.
So wonderful. Yay. Well, what a varied, talented career you've had already. And you have more to come. So congratulations. Yeah, we're excited to follow your work. Is there anywhere that we should follow you via Instagram?
On Instagram, Stanley Glover Jr. So
sounds good. And Ballet X, of course.
Yes, and Ballet X official.
Sounds great. So to let everyone know that's joining us, if you joined late, Stanley Glover, a dancer with Ballet X, based in Philadelphia. They'll be here in January, the end of January, with the company as part of our Dance and Movement series of our 2021 season. Excited to have you. They'll be performing The Little Prince. We have a school performance as well as an evening performance. And you can get tickets now. Subscriptions are available for the Dance and Movement series. And next Thursday, July 16th, for our single tickets for all the public will go on sale. So snag those and join us in January. One other announcement, next Thursday, you can join us again for our Talkback. We have one of our visionary designers, Scott Crossfield. He's with Theater Projects. He helped design the Gooch Performing Arts Center. He'll be joining us with our executive director, Chris Hecox. So we're excited. Stanley, I'm going to teach you the call for Auburn. Auburn is, I don't know if you know, we talked a little bit about it, highly successful with sports, basketball and football and others. So War Eagle is our call.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, got it.
War Eagle. So if you come in January, ready for War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Cool. Thanks for joining us today. Be well, stay safe. Tell the whole company we can't wait to see them in January.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All the very best.